tiger in the jungle. We have a lot of sleepers in this household, as you can see. Sun. Oh. Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local light worker. I wanted to bring you today a relationship reading. A lot of you have been requested these types of readings. These seem to be the most popular types of readings on my channel. So we are going to be checking the energies between you and your special person. This can be anybody that you have on your mind, your crush, your twin flame. It could even be a soulmate that you're trying to manifest. You want to check the temperature, the pulse of this connection, and how soon this manifestation will come through. In this reading today, I aim to provide you with details related to what is the vibe between you and your special someone. But it's up to you to figure out who the special somebody is and to pick up the clues that I put forth for you and figure out if this pertains to a person you already know or somebody you have yet to meet. I hope this makes sense. So I thought of giving you a choice of roses from the Oracle of the Roses. All of the Oracle and Tarot decks I'm using in this reading are linked in the description box below. If you're curious about them, if you want to get them for yourselves, or if you just want to have a look at my Tarot and Oracle Amazon wishlist, you are invited to do so. So links are always underneath this video or in the comment section, just so you know. But all this being said, let me show you the options that I shuffled, and these are the cards that dropped to the table. So for you, group one, we have here the Seeker, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see the card a little bit better. So we have here the Mrs. Roberts Perry Rose, the Modern Garden Rose. So that's for you, group one, that's your choice. For you, group two, we have here the Rebel, Austrian Briar Rose. This is a wild type of rose with some very dark red energy. For you, group three, we have here the Citizen, number 37, Lyon Rose, the Modern Garden Rose. And for you, group four, we have number 39, the Outsider, the Duchess of Edinburgh Rose, the Modern Garden Rose. Behind these cards, you can see some other set of cards. These are the Oracle cards I pre-shuffled for you. Oops. There we go. You need the full view, not zooming in too much on the details. Maybe this is a message already for some of you out there. I am going to live shuffle from a tarot deck, as I always have. So just so you know, tarot cards are always pulled live in my readings, but Oracle cards are pre-shuffled, pre-selected so that we don't lose too much time from your reading, because I know you just want to get down to the messages. You just want to hear what the vibe is between you and your person. I am open for personal readings. My website has recently undergone a change, but you can access it with the link in the description box below. You can see a range of my affordable options. I'm always here to help you guys, so if you want to get in touch with me, please do so via email. All this being said, I invite you to also have a look at my second channel on astrology, my third channel on gaming, and anything related to living a chill life. And without further ado, let's jump into your messages and figure out what is the vibe, what is the energy between you and your person. Hey, group one. Hello, my loves. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what is the energy between you and your special person. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the Seeker card, number 44, already a Grandmaster number. It is the number of stability and foundations. So let's figure things out. I have here the Unfolding Path Tarot. Oh, cards are dropping in my lap. I'm not going to take reversals for this reading. I'm just going to read the cards straight up. And I also have a bunch of Oracle cards I need to get through with you, okay? So grab a nice cozy blanket, a beverage, and let's dig in. So first of all, I see the Eight of Wands. I see as well the Five of Cups. And we have here the culprit. This is an older man, potentially, most likely. This is an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I would lean more towards Leo. A person with either a Leo ascendant. The sun is very prominent in their chart in the first house, in the seventh house, on the midheaven. This person may have a sun in the fifth house as well. borrowing traits. So no matter what sun sign they are, they come across as a Leo. They have this very strong, powerful, magnetic, come to me vibe. I do feel there's a sense of loss. Things have gone quite fast. From the moment when you met this person, it's almost like things sped up at incredible speed. And it feels that the downfall also was as fast and as painful. I kind of have the feeling like you guys met, you built up a lot of expectations really quickly. You thought, oh my God, wow, we're vibing so high. This is so good. And then all of a sudden, you know, you came with your feet drastically on the ground and you had like this rude awakening to reality. Hang on a second, this person is not at all who I thought that they are. This may have been a relationship that began with this Venus retrograde. At the moment at which I'm filming this reading, I am under a sky with a Venus retrograde going across the signs of Aries and Pisces. And, you know, Venus in Pisces can be incredibly loving, unconditionally giving, can be very soft, idealistic, but at the same time, it can be about delusions, right? It can be about building a fantasy up in our heads, which has nothing to do with the facts, with reality. You know, you meet somebody, you have this instant contact with them, and you feel, oh my God, I met my soulmate. And you already fantasize about your life together with this person, when this person in reality may already be married with children, you know, and you're not paying attention to that very important fact about their reality. You're just thinking about, oh, you know, the energy, the vibe that was between us. It's nothing wrong with thinking about people in this way. There's absolutely nothing wrong with romanticizing life and relationships. But it should be done in a balance, like in a moderation. Like you should pay attention to who this person really is, to facts, to reality, and also combine these facts and this reality with romantic feelings, fantasizing, making reality a little bit more magical with the power of your imagination. Yeah. So I feel that you had some issues with this King of Wands. This could be a man or somebody who identifies as a masculine, somebody that has very strong masculine energy. And I have a feeling that it was a relationship that was very hot and heavy from the beginning. And then all of a sudden, it's like somebody throws, it's like you're this molting fire, right? This volcano of passion. And then somebody comes and pours an ice bucket over you. Yeah. Let's see the oracle cards. What's going on here? What would this person say to you? What is the overall vibe? Yeah, so I have this lady. This image is very, very telling as to the energy between the two of you. So we see here a clock. Time is important in the situation. You could be restricted by the limits of time, maybe because both of you work and a lot of your energy and time and effort and dedication is primarily locked into earning an income, making sure everything is okay financially speaking. I see here a cat, I see a phone, a letter being delivered by this dove, and a woman waiting. She looks like she's dressed in a wedding dress, right? She's all done up, she looks very elegant, but she's quite passive. It's like she's waiting for communication. She's waiting for the other person to react in some way. This could be a representation of you or whoever identifies as the feminine energy in your connection. I do feel that you've been waiting on this person to call you. It could have been that you guys met, you had a fling, and then all of a sudden you fell into this deep pool of sadness because this person stopped contacting you. You know, you may have been feeling neglected, ghosted. You're wondering what's going on with this individual. You know, they didn't give me the vibe that they're in it just for a hot one-night stand. I do feel that you are being cautiously separated from this person. So if you're not receiving any communication from this person, try to see it as the divine intervening to help you out a little bit. You know, sometimes we want something and we desperately feel like we need to get it, you know. We need to do everything in our powers to get something. And then we encounter delays, we encounter blocks, obstacles, competition, other people intervening to get what we want. And you may be left thinking like, oh, what's going on with my capacity to manifest? Why am I being so blocked? Well, it's because maybe the thing that you want is going to cause you a lot of harm. And these obstacles are coming in to detract you from what you want, because what you want may not be in your best interest. So if there is a delay, if there is a pause, if you feel like you've been put on hold, if this person is not communicating with you, if you're sitting by the phone, waiting, wondering what's going on, I know it may sound hard, but try to let it go. Because the moment when you let this connection go and you start doing other things, normal things that you need to take care of in your day-to-day duties, responsibilities, maybe you have a hobby, maybe you want to hang out with other people, pour your attention and love into other individuals, other relationships, other projects. The moment when you start doing that, it's like this person cannot help but be magnetized back to you. And even if this person may not come back to be in a committed relationship with you, at least you would hear what this person has to say, or at least there will be some form of contact. But the more you launch at it, the more you push it away, the more you pull your energy away from the situation, the more you bring it towards you. So this push-pull effect, yeah? Let's see, what would this person say to you? So we have here indecisive, and this is, I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. Ouch. So you may be dealing here with a grifter. Yeah. Reciprocity. I want to have equal give and take. That seems more like something you would say, right? Unworthy. You're a better person than I am. And of course, we have here sensual desire. Cannot show you the actual word, but yeah, you can put two and two together, yeah? So sensual desire. Without a doubt, this person is really into you. They crave you, they want you. There is no denying the physical chemistry that you guys have. But I find myself saying this time and time and time again, because it seems that either millennials or Gen Zers don't really get it, that you can't just form a connection based on sexual attraction. It's not possible. It's not long-standing. It's like you build a tent on a volcano and you expect that to be your home for the next 15 years. Or you create a sandcastle on quicksand, like it's not realistic. Of course, sexual attraction is important in a connection. Of course, you need to have this kind of like, wow, I want to take your clothes off. Intimacy is important, but it is not the only thing, and it is not necessarily the thing that defines your relationship. If your relationship is defined only by sexual attraction, you will fall into the trap of feeling unworthy as time goes by, because your looks will fade, your body is going to start backfiring on you. And what do you have left? If you have no things in common, if you don't trust the person that is next to you, if you struggle to communicate and you have done so from the beginning, then this is not a relationship. It's a fantasy situationship you have created in your mind, mostly because there was a lot of passion. Yeah, there was a lot of passion. There was a lot of come hither, you look delicious. But looks, as the cliche tells us, as our forefathers, foremothers, our ancestors keep telling us, looks can be deceiving. Not everything is what it seems, yeah? And looks fade. And it's not that if a person looks good is necessarily that they are a good person as well. We tend to apply positive moral judgments to people who look good, when in reality they may actually be shitty people. Like they may not have worked on themselves, on integrating their unconscious, on figuring out what they're really good at. They may not have even thought about the other person's point of view. They may not think, what do I bring to this relationship? What are my responsibilities? Whereas people that tend to be less attractive put more effort into these aspects, because they know that this is what they mostly can bring to a connection. Yeah. So do this mental exercise. When you walk down the street and you see people that are incredibly good looking and they have a partner that is not so good looking, or maybe that person is with that individual not because they fell in love with how this person looks physically, but because of the skills, the soul imprint, the vibe, the wisdom of that individual, you know? So yeah, there is something there about not being so superficial about this connection. So on some level, I do feel like you guys would like to establish this give and take, this equal give and take, but either one of you is afraid of love, or feels that love will never work out, or feels that love is just confuses love with sexual and physical attraction. So you're left feeling undecisive. This person is also undecisive, and this connection is not moving forward. You're both sad, sitting by the phone, waiting for the other person to react in this loop of passivity. It's like, you tell me that you want me first, and then I will confirm that. But that mostly comes from, first of all, identifying too strongly with your physical body, with your looks, relying too much on your looks to get you through a connection, thinking that only desire is the thing that really pushes a connection forward, which in reality is not at all. And yeah, really like not really valuing all the other parts of your personality, you know? I mean, the seeker here, this is the typology of Sagittarius and Pisces, you know, gambling, risking a lot in life, just jumping into a connection impulsively and see where the chips fall. And sometimes they fall really drastically to the ground, and they hide underneath the table, and you can't bring back your chips. You lost. The house has won, you know? Sometimes these things happen, and we have to just take them in our stride. Sometimes we get rejected. Sometimes a person loves us and leaves us, but they haven't actually loved us. If they left us, it was more like the physical, lusty side that they loved in us. So I think in this situation, you are learning the difference between love and lust, first of all. You are learning basically how to read a person, to not be distracted by looks, although I know how tempting that is, okay? I myself am quite a superficial person. I love beauty and I love beautiful men. I'm heterosexual, so I can be incredibly like, you know, my mind stops when I see a beautiful man. It's like, oh, I can't focus. Actually, it happened to me recently because I had an issue with my foot, and I went to the doctor, and oh my God, my orthopedist, I think it's in English, he was so good looking. Like, he looked like Henry Cavill, a bit shorter in size, but Henry Cavill-like. And he was massaging my feet, and I was like, I'm in heaven. Dear God, I'm in heaven. But, you know, like, you need to pay attention to other things, such as he would never look at me when he was speaking directly, and he was quoting from some medical textbooks, almost like there was a filter between him and me, like he wouldn't see me as a human being, like he saw me as an object that needed to be fixed. So while I appreciated his physical beauty, I was also kind of detached from the situation because I understood he's a doctor, this is a professional setting, obviously boundaries should be in place. But it was also this thing where I thought, I don't think a relationship would work out with this man because he seems too technical, he seems too detached, also because it was a professional situation. But you kind of felt the person, how that person would be in a connection. And my gut instinct was saying, no, you know, very pretty, but no, it's not going to work out, you know. It was just an act of imagination that I was doing. It wasn't necessarily really planning to be with my orthopedist. It was just something that sometimes we do, you know, we play these games, these mental exercises. But you have to constantly keep yourself in check that it's just a game, it's just an exercise. Look at everything, okay? Don't look only at looks, which can be very distracting. But check everything, check the vibe, check the temperament, ask questions and see how this person reacts. It's important. It's important in the process of getting to know somebody. And it's a helpful way to get you to not jump into connections, get your heart broken, and then fall back into this belief that, oh, nothing good happens to me, people always betray me, why does this happen to me? Well, these things happen to you because you need to learn some things. You're really being given opportunities, you're being given chances to understand yourself and to be able to practice the art of reading people, because it's an art. Learning how to read a person, knowing a person's intentions even before they speak or they confirm what you already have been feeling. It's really, it's important. It's an art, and you need intuition, you need life experience, you need to have gone through a couple of connections, you need this romantic history in order to be able to read people well, especially in a romantic situation. So I want to see, is there anything moving forward with this person? Will they contact you? I kicked my camera. So there is something shaking and moving, and I do see here the Knight of Wands. Okay, two things with this vibe. First of all, I see a downgrade. I see that this person will fall down from the role of the king, they will be demoted to the role of the knight. So obviously this person is not who they said that they were. Obviously this was a case of misunderstanding, misreading an individual, and that's okay. It's a beautiful romantic learning lesson. This person is actually a Knight of Wands pretending to be a king. So somebody who's a little bit more wishy-washy, more adventurous, less stable, less dominant and confident as they came across in the interactions that they had with you. And that's why they may not be putting in the work. They just want to have fun. They want to live without responsibilities. And they want to just have, you know, relationships here and there, keep their options open, not really drawing conclusions, and just coming back and extracting pleasure from all of these relationships that they have begun. And this person can do this, they can afford to do this because they are good looking. I guess that they're young. I see here a person of the same age as you who may have tried to appear more like older than they really are, but in reality this person is less mature than they wanted you to believe that they are. Yeah. So I see here a downgrade. You're finally lifting the rosy glasses off your eyes and you're seeing this person for who they really are. And I think that, you know, you're understanding finally, it's like, I'm better than this, I deserve better. So it's a beautiful way to integrate self-worth from the situation that may have left you feeling sad and a little bit bruised, you know. I don't think it completely traumatized you, but this is about, you know, feeling hurt in the ego, like your ego took a blow, your romantic ego took a blow, and now it's left standing and needing to recuperate in the waiting room at the love doctor. I'm sorry, I hope these metaphors are not confusing you, but I want you to know that there is something powerful, optimistic to be extracted from the situation, like from any situation in life. Okay, so moving forward, I see that you will figure out who this person really is. You are going to become wiser, better at reading an individual, and you will also have extracted some pleasure from the situation in case you already had, you know, in case you already did the nasty or hit your pelvic region to this person's pelvic region. I'm sure you know what I mean. Hey, you know, great, fun times. Keep it as a lovely memory. Don't try to taint it by cursing this person or thinking, oh, why didn't this relationship work out? Some relationships just don't work out. Keep them as beautiful memories, yeah? Write it in your diary about it. Create some beautiful art and connection to it if you are artistically inclined. I love to do that, you know. Taylor Swift your way out of the situation if you want to make amends and make yourself feel better. Yes, exactly. I could hear somebody shouting on the corridor because I live in a building filled with animals, not human beings. Anyway, moving forward, I'm not going to be here for long, thank God for that. Yeah, moving forward, right? Moving forward away from the drama, moving forward away from the screams, and moving into a situation in which I'm actually happy that this is happening, because if you guys can hear it, you know why I made the decision to just move out of this place that I've been suffering within for 2 years. Maybe for you, this is the same kind of feeling, you know, maybe you want to scream and shout at the screen right now. Please don't take it out on me, because I'm only reading the cards as I see them. You may be tired, but you have to understand that especially if you have certain aspects in your astrological birth chart, for example, a Venus in Capricorn, Venus conjunct Saturn, Moon conjunct Saturn, Capricorn on the ascendant, Sun conjunct Saturn, Saturn in the 7th house, Saturn in the 5th house as well. You are meant to be tested in love. This is your karma. This is what your soul unconsciously signed up for before you reincarnated. This is something that you have to pay back. You did something wrong in connection to love in a past life. Now you have to make amends. And you're making amends by having to work through relationships. And you're working through relationships by going through disappointments, by wanting to scream at individuals. It is what it is, yeah? But think that you can raise yourself out of this feeling by reflecting on what has happened. Reflection, self-awareness is key to your liberation and to feeling better about this whole situation. So it's about the way you think of it, not what actually happened and what was done to you. But it's about how you interpret it and how you get control and power over this situation. Okay? This King of Wands, you can thank him, even if there was deceit involved and indecision, because this King of Wands is teaching you so much about yourself. And I'm just noticing that it's 22 minutes into your reading. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to stop here. I guess my cue was 5 minutes ago when that child was screaming on the corridor. But thank you. If you want to get in touch with me for a personal reading, I do offer those. Link in the description box below. Have a look. Until next time, take care. Try not to scream at anybody. Don't allow other people to scream at you too, okay? Self-respect for the win. And yeah, I cannot wait to see my next one. Ciao. Hey, group 2. Hello, darlings. Welcome to a pick-a-card reading. Today we're going to read the energies between you and your special person. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the Rebel number 7. And we see here the Austrian Briar Rose. You could be Austrian, or the person on your mind could have been born in Austria. There are just some very strong Austrian vibes. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm picking up on. Maybe some of you are obsessed with the White Lotus star Patrick Schwarzenegger. He's not really Austrian, but he has Austrian roots because, as you know, his father, Arnold Schwarzenegger, was born in Austria. There's a running joke that most famous Austrians are actually, most famous Germans are actually from Austria, like Freud and, you know, Hitler and Schwarzenegger, for example. Anyway, putting all that to the side, this was just like a random thing. For those of you who just clicked randomly on this reading, I know that you are there and you don't have a special person, but you have a crush on a person, like on a celebrity. I see you, okay? I see you and I feel you guys. Keeping this in mind, let's bring it back to those of you who have clicked here with intention and you actually have a special person in your mind that is not Patrick Schwarzenegger. So I'm going to pull some cards from the Unfolding Path Tarot. As always, if you're interested in the decks, they're always linked in the description box below. You may want to get them for yourself or just have a look around. Wow, wow, wow. We begin so strong. Okay. 3 of Swords. Who backstabbed you, sweetie? Who hurt you? Look here. Like, this is bleeding all over the place. Jesus. Okay, we also have here the 6 of Coins. There were maybe some money involved in the situation. Could be somebody that gave you gifts or made you feel like, oh, yeah, talk about money. Okay, we have the Devil here. And we have the Justice card. Yeah, so we have Capricorn and Libra. Some of you are actually in a situation in which you are married to somebody and you are considering a divorce, a separation. This is your confirmation that you're doing the right thing, okay? So if you have already made a decision, I am here to let you know, keep moving forward. You were betrayed. Yeah, you were betrayed. You had enough. You're laying down the law. It is somehow fated for you to separate, to cut contacts, to cut toxic karmic ties to this individual. I'm only saying this and I'm mentioning divorce and separation because I see here the Justice card, which usually speaks about some form of legal bind between the two of you. And the Devil is usually a karmic connection, a connection that you feel compelled to be in, but you also know that on some level it's heavy. It's filled with responsibilities. It's difficult. you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, or you feel like another person is taking from you a lot and they're not giving you anything in return, nothing nourishing, like you always have to replenish yourself. Karmic connections are unsolved relationships. We bring energy from other lifetimes and we meet an individual almost like through a fated set of circumstances, and we feel this instant connection with them. And it's kind of like we feel the need to be with them. We spend a lot of time with them. Time is important. It's another Saturnian, Capricornian element. We put a lot of effort into these connections. And then most of the times we have to find the strength to leave them. A lot of people make the mistake of falling in love and then getting married before their first Saturn return. Without a doubt, more than 99% of the connections that we meet and we have, that we build before our first Saturn return, are karmic relationships. The family into which you are born, your first lover, your friends, your schoolmasters, the people that you rent your home from, your neighbors, all of these people are souls that have come with you from a different lifetime. You still have some mingling business to attend to, but around your first Saturn return, you are being given the divine scissors. And it's almost like Saturn says, I am here, you have paid your karma. I'm giving you the chance to separate and disconnect from the past, or you can recommit to these karmic connections and continue with the karma. And a lot of people actually, you will find it interesting that they get married around their first Saturn return, and or they take on a lot of responsibilities, they give birth to a child, and they produce new karma with some of the people that they have already met. I hope this makes sense. So you get a chance to start all over again and begin new soul contracts around your first Saturn return. Around your second Saturn return, they bloom and blossom. Or you get the chance to continue karmic contracts, but then your midlife crisis around the age of 38 is going to be powerful. Get ready for chaos. This is at least from my experience, from what I have been reading as an astrologer, from working with clients in the last 5 years. I noticed this pattern. Yeah? So be mindful of getting married before you are 30. Be mindful of the people that you first have romantic connections with, because most likely they are karmic. And paradoxically, those of you who have reached the age of 30 and you have no lovers, you've never been kissed, you've never had intimate contact, you are actually, believe it or not, blessed in some way, because it shows that you have less karma to resolve from a past lifetime. And you have more space, more time to begin forming new connections, to begin new karmic contracts in this incarnation. And when you're given this choice, it's a beautiful thing. Think about the fact that other people who are heavy on the karmic side, they do not get this choice. They just are born into these relationships and they have to deal with them. While you have less relationships, less contact, you have been given like a free card, like a green card, you know. Hey, make your own connections in this lifetime. That's it. Your karma was served, okay? Here you have space, opportunities. You have to see your loneliness as an opportunity to create rather than a prison, right? Okay, coming back to your specific circumstances. Maybe some of you needed to hear this. That's why I went into this complete diatribe. So somebody broke your heart, and now you are caught up in some sort of legal, financial, material battle with them. I see here that it is fated for some of you to separate from this person. This person is clearly toxic for you. In this connection, you were in some way exploited. And it can be something very mild, like how women are normally exploited in personal connections because they have to engage in paid work in two income households. And then they come home and they have to continue washing, cleaning up, taking care of the kids. This is work still, but it's not paid, it's not seen, it's not valued. It's just taken for granted that women are women and they should be taking care of all of that, right? That's the traditional view. So as we're moving away in society from that traditional view, we're getting more empowerment. We're getting this wonderful energy of you're being given the opportunity, the legal, financial means to separate yourself from a toxic situation should you feel you have had enough. Yeah. So I see that in this case, definitely there was heartache, betrayal, a person taking advantage of you, sleepless nights, worries. Whew. Dear God, you see the darkness. You see the way the darkness pollutes everything. You see the swords in the heart, right? This is, oh God, this is so painful. My belly hurts. And I see here financial rescue. I feel that if you separate from this person, you will be giving the property or the rights to a property, or you will be given the income that you can rely upon. Maybe this person will be forced by the law to pay alimony, child support, depending on each of your circumstances and how much time you spent with this person, you will be given some sort of financial compensation for what this person has been putting you through. And I see that justice will be on your side, okay? There will be a fair conclusion to this relationship. So I feel like you are invited to keep rebelling against the powers that be in this connection. And for a moment, like my finger was trembling. I can feel the fear because there is a lot of power that this individual wields over you. And Saturn does come with a lot of fear, cold energy, a lot of ego, acting out of ego, out of spite, out of envy, rather than from the heart, rather than what would be good for both of us in this situation. Let's consider how can we arrange the situation so that everybody somehow benefits, yeah? No, this is about I'll show you, right? I'll be better than you, right? So ego, anger, envy, pride, the most powerful of all, right? So I want to show you the oracle cards right now. We have here a woman looking at herself, and she's surrounded by other images. Some of these images are empty frames. Everything gravitates around her. She's in this beautiful room filled with light. But we see here, like, if you look closely, this woman is only looking at herself, right? She only sees herself. Narcissistic tendencies. Yeah, narcissistic tendencies. And you see that here in the background, there is a portrait of a man, potentially her lover, a man with a star painted on his face. She has a star painted on her face. It could also be a woman, yeah. But we see how little the other individual is and how this individual is sitting behind the mirror while this person is only looking at the mirror. You were, or you are still, in a connection with somebody who's just looking out for themselves. A selfish, prideful, narcissistic individual who has taken advantage of you, and you had enough and you're being encouraged to rebel. The energy between you and this person is dark, very dark, polluted, desecrated. There is no light. And the light that still exists between the two of you, it's light that only tends to benefit this person that has been sucking you of your own light, draining you of life. So you are being given the opportunity to rebel, to separate, to draw a firm boundary between you and this person. Do not allow this person's access to your body, to your energy. Set boundaries in place that separate you from this individual, because I see that you will make your own money. You will have an income to live off of, even if in the transition from a long-term connection to financial independence, it is a bit of a tricky ground. I can tell you that I've been in similar circumstances, and I think if I was able to do it when I was in another country, with a very low income, I was a student, I had other responsibilities, nobody was by my side. I did it though. I separated, I got divorced, and I managed to make my own money without appealing to my ex-husband for any help, without appealing to his family, without appealing to my own family. I managed to get myself out of the situation in which I put myself into. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it as well. Trust me, boo. You can do it, okay? There is light at the end of this tunnel. Do you see the difference? Like, You in this connection with this person, look at the vibe, look at the colors, look at the blood. And you having chosen yourself, having decided, you know, a boundary should be set between me and this person, I feel like even you will start doing better at work. You will have more energy to put more effort at work. You may get promoted, or you may get the opportunity to switch from your current job to a better job. Or you, if you haven't been working while you were together in this connection with this person, if this person controlled you financially, all of a sudden, around the time of your separation, you will be given an opportunity to work, to make your own income. So don't despair, okay? I see that courage will be required, but I see that all signs are pointing in the direction of you moving away from this person, because this person is really, really toxic, dark, really dark. So these are confirmations, I feel. You've been feeling this in your heart. You just needed somebody to kind of, you know, draw the line and say, yes, what you've been feeling is correct. You are not just making things up. You are just tired of being lied to, gaslit, taken advantage of. What would this person say to you? I have here some oracle cards. So we have here gossip. I'm afraid of what other people will think. Of course you are. Narcissists are always afraid of what other people might think. They don't really care about the intimacy that exists between you and them. They care about the exterior, how the public will perceive them. Yeah. It is dark without you. Well, this person is dark. And they have to deal with their own darkness before they can create light with another person. You have given them a chance. And indeed, it will become increasingly dark because you are the light one in this connection. You could be a Libra. You may have a Libra ascendant, Libra south node, Venus in Libra. But it's time to cut this connection, because look, this person will only continue to chain you. And as they chain you, they hurt you. So take the sword into your own hand, take it out of your chest and into your own hand, and defend yourself with the sword that this person has dunked into your heart. No longer hurt yourself with the sword, but claim it as a weapon of defense. A weapon with which, I'm speaking here metaphorically, obviously, please don't throw swords at your lover. But consider the metaphor of a sword as cutting things, organizing your life again, setting boundaries and being ruthless with them. It's like, I said no, no. You're not moving back on your decision. This requires a lot of inner strength, a lot of courage, but you can do it, okay? Keep in mind, this person will be in the dark because you are the light, and taking yourself out of this connection will only help you understand just how much of a light you have been. Irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. Of course, this person kind of wanted to control you because they knew that they had a high value individual in you, that you are a prize. But they made you feel like you're not a prize because in this way they can control you. Yeah? So it's kind of like, ooh, I found this beautiful light. I'm going to attach myself to it. I'm going to control it and make this little light think that she or he is nothing without me. Haha! So then I always have access. I always have control. So it's time for you to claim your power back, because indeed you are irreplaceable and this person is going to figure things out. But this is their own ego fall and their own karmic lesson that they need to go through. And we have here unsatisfied. I wasn't happy the way things were going. Sure. But not being happy with the way a relationship is going and then doing awful things to your partner is definitely not the way to go about resolving the problem. You should be able to put things into words as an adult and to say, I'm not happy with the situation. I feel like some changes are required. What do you suggest? How do you feel? Do you feel happy in this connection? Let's figure out. Let's come up with a plan. What should we do? Should we go on a break? Should we go on a holiday? Should we change location? Should we change our jobs? Should we have a baby? Should we spend more time with our children? There are ways around working yourself out of a slump in a relationship. But of course, it requires maturity, awareness, courage, a lot of things that this person didn't have. So this person just went ahead and continued to suck you dry of life, of energy, to fulfill their own selfish goals because they were afraid what other people were thinking and they were only thinking about themselves. And you just finally have had enough. It could be that this Venus retrograde, the Venus retrograde happening in the year 2025 when I'm filming this, could be that this Venus retrograde made you understand how the situation really is and how awful things are and how much of a light you are and how you should take justice into your own hands and separate, clean, break your way out of this. This person will understand that it is dark without you. They will understand that you're irreplaceable. And they will understand that they self-destructed in this connection by controlling you. But you have given them a chance, and now it's time for you to give yourself a chance. Because you deserve to be happy and you deserve to be loved, but it's not going to be by this individual and not right now. Maybe a couple of years down the line, maybe if this person changes, but these are a lot of maybes that need to be fulfilled by this person, not by you. You, at the moment, just need to pull back your light, pull back your energy, rebuild yourself financially, materially, because you are worth it. And you're worth so much more than this. Group 2, come here. I want to give you a hug. Oh, I hope this helped. It was pretty brutal, but we began quite shockingly with this image. So thank you for listening. God, I hope that this reading helps at least somebody out there. Maybe a lot of you clicked in anger away from this video. Give it another chance, okay? Come back to it when you're ready to listen. Sometimes we have resistance to what we know we need to hear, but our ego is like, no, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not ready to admit. I'm not saying that my readings are perfect. Obviously, I'm just a human being. I make mistakes as well. But I do put my all into reading the cards as I see them. And you saw the cards. I held them up here. So I'm not making this up, and I would never make this up because it's a really bad situation. And yeah, let me know down in the comments what's happening. How are you freeing yourself? How are you drawing boundaries to empower yourself? Because I know you can do it. If you want a personal reading, I'm here for you. Links are always placed underneath this video and in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. May you live in light because you're a beautiful light, okay? Just be mindful whom you give your light to. Okay? See you in my next one. Ciao. Hey, group 3. Welcome to your pick-a-card reading. So we're going to check the pulse of your relationship with this special someone on your mind. And this is a reading for those of you drawn to the Citizen card. Such a gorgeous energy, Libra energy. We see here Lion rose. So maybe you're French or the person on your mind is French. There is some sort of French link. Maybe you met this person during a French language class, or you like French movies. Maybe some of you are fans of Emily in Paris. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to shuffle the cards from the Unfolding Path Tarot to see what the tarot has to tell me about this connection between you two. Previous reading was very intense. I had to take a longer break. Okay, feels like you wish that this connection would go ahead faster than it already is. But what I'm seeing is actually quite nice. So you got the Star, and then we have the Six of Swords. We have the Strength card. Right off the bat, Aquarius and Leo. You could be opposites on the zodiac wheel. Maybe your ascendants are Aquarius or Leo, or your North Node. You don't necessarily have to be these specific sun signs. I also see here in Aries, the Emperor. So the energy between you and your person is considerably better than the previous reading. I do apologize. Group 2 had a very harsh reading. I feel right off the bat that you are a very unique, gorgeous looking individual, and whomever you identify as, whether you're more the Aquarius energy or whether your person is the Aquarius energy, I definitely see here a person who's a bit more icy, more detached, cool, rational, not so enthusiastic about things, but very friendly and tolerant. A person that walks to the beat of their own drum. They're very rebellious. And I see here somebody who's very generous, warm-hearted, loyal, family-oriented, very stable, has some very strong traditional values. This individual is very attractive, can be quite emotional, quite exuberant, has a great smile. So opposites attract. And it actually leads you both, this this magnetic oppositional attraction, it leads you guys towards building something that has the potential to be long-lasting. So an attraction that can lead to long-term consequences, maybe even marriage. The Emperor is the ultimate spouse, the end goal. And I see here with the Six of Swords that this is a connection that will be much more relaxing and peaceful to you than your previous connections. It's like in other connections you had drama, and paradoxically you met somebody who looks quite dramatic, but this person is going to bring you a really good amount of inner peace. I know, life can be surprising. Like most of the time you couple up with somebody and you think, oh, they're sensitive, they are demure, I'm gonna have a great peaceful relationship with them, and then they are so dramatic and toxic, and you just want to get out of that connection. And sometimes you meet an individual that talks loudly, that is emotional and all over the place, and you think, oh my gosh, this person is a drama queen. I would never get rest in this connection. The connection is always going to be so demanding. And then you begin a connection with them and they actually make you laugh and they make you feel very balanced. You experience a lot of inner peace and contentment when you are with them, right? So sometimes people, you know, they don't necessarily, even if they act out, they don't do it like in a negative way. Not all people who act out do it because of some inner complexes or because they want to project their inner demons onto you, or they do it because they're chaos addicts and they just love the drama, you know. Sometimes people act out because they have exuberant, extroverted personalities. They find it hard to keep things in. And especially if this individual has fire in their chart. I see here Leo and Aries energy, so very packing a punch, yeah? Of course, this person is going to be a bit more bombastic in how they express their feelings, but that doesn't make them a bad person and that doesn't make them a drama addict, yeah? Very different things. I hope this comes across clearly. I am laughing more and smiling more in your reading. I am feeling more relaxed. There's a feeling of fun, enjoying each other's company. We have three very fated energies. In some cases, you could be maybe you have a connection with a woman who's a Leo, a man who's an Aries, and you yourself are an Aquarius. So this can be a polyamorous connection. In other cases, you have a choice between two individuals, and no matter what sun sign you identify as, I see here three distinct energies that are coming into play. Maybe you want to be kind of a bit more relaxed and loose with one person in terms of commitment, and with the other person, that is your core commitment. It depends on how you want to organize your intimate relations. I definitely am meant to tell you that there are three energies very strongly in this reading. They are all upright, so even though I'm not taking reversals, I need to tell you that I'm not seeing any red flags here. It's just three very unique individuals. They all want to be together, they all want to hang out. There are some strong romantic, affectionate links, and in the eventuality in which it's just you and another person, you have just a special person on your mind and you don't identify with there being another individual, this is the energy of your relationship, the Emperor. Yeah, wow. And I almost dropped it, so there was a flutter. And you may think that your relationship is not on steady grounds at the moment. It could be that the Venus retrograde destabilized your solid commitment. And I'm here to let you know that in reality, aside from the fantasy, because, you know, we're not seeing things clearly from a romantic point of view when there's a Venus retrograde. The energy tends to be quite scattered and there are a lot of misinterpretations. So I feel like your connection is actually more solid than you think. This is something with long-term potential. There is marriage in the future. There is a stronger commitment, like a co-partnership, a cohabitation situation. You guys can move in with each other. But it's kind of like, it could be that there may be a fear of commitment or a fear of intimacy. Like, I like you from afar, but I don't want to get too close. I know that this is a great responsibility. There is a slightly contradictory vibe from one of you. I'm kind of feeling like it's you, the watcher, the viewer, and your person would actually love to go full in and just commit to this, you know, but yeah, there could be, okay, so how should I put it into words? Because I'm picking up on a fear of intimacy, it could be that this person is very good for you. They are wearing their heart on their sleeves. They want to be with you, but this activates, it triggers your fear of intimacy. So it's like, I like you, I want to be with you too, but don't get too close. Okay, like you're keeping them at arm's length because of that fear. It's like, if another person comes too close to me, I have to sacrifice my freedom. I suffocate. I don't like all of that affection in my face all the time. And you could be wondering, what if I cut off all the other options? So you may be fantasizing about another person because you find it hard to overcome this fear of intimacy and fully commit to this loving individual that appeared in your life. I hope that makes sense. I do feel that you will make a decision that will be very peaceful, very calm. You are moving into a better period in your romantic life. The energy is much better than it used to be in the past. You will experience a lessening of the inner conflict that you may have gone through. And I think that you will make a decision in the end and you will choose one of these individuals. And in the case in which you just have one special person and this is the energy of your relationship, because I'm reading here for a lot of people, keep that in mind. In that case, I feel like you shouldn't be afraid that this connection is going to lead to a dead end. It has potential for growth, so you can commit to it and see it through and see where it takes you on this beautiful adventure of having a partnership, you know, having somebody that has your back and experiencing life à deux, you know, like togetherness. Togetherness is good. Okay, so let's see the other cards, the oracle cards. My goodness, look, we have a mother holding a child. So this is about warmth. This is about feeling accepted, being loved, being held, being seen. But again, some of you may have gone a really long period in your life without it, and you develop this ice queen, ice king kind of vibe. You know, it's like, I can take care of my own needs. I don't need all of this warmth and love. And then there's this person who's like, but I want to adore you. And you're like, okay. Let me just think about this other individual so that I can detach from all the love you want to give me, because I've learned in life that I have to fulfill my own needs. But this person really wants a family with you. There is a sense of nurturing. Show that you love yourself by accepting this person's love, you know. Show that you want to give something good to yourself by overcoming this fear of getting too close to somebody. I can tell you that there is no such thing as getting too close to somebody. You know, love is just love. It's just good, you know. It's generative. It just transforms into something more. It doesn't really overwhelm you with its success. If you feel suffocated or pressured, then there's something else there. It's not you have issues with love or love is too much. It's on the contrary, you find it hard to accept it for what it is. There is a complex, there is a lingering psychogenetic tension that you need to unravel and unpack and see, you know, travel down to its root and see where does this darkness come from. Because I see here a person that's very comfortable with detachment, darkness, cold. And I see here an individual that's the opposite. It's like, nah, you know, let's kiss and cuddle and make love and have babies. And like, there is no such thing as too much love, you know. So yeah, opposites attract, but also there needs to be some changes, some adjustments so that you guys can coexist, so that you can have a fruitful connection. What would this person say to you? Self-love, yes. I am still trying to heal. That's why it's so important, because you hear it so many times in the spiritual community. It's like you have to love yourself so that other people can love you. Indeed, it's like you have to allow another person to give you this love, to give you this warmth, to, you know, put you in this position if you want to. right, of having a family. And if you are hurt, you're not going to allow this person to do these things, to give you things that could be good for you. You're going to continue to protect yourself from individuals around you that could indeed want to take advantage of you or maybe mean, but you're going to push away people that are also kind and giving and generous with you. So this is about understanding that you can only heal by yourself up to a certain point, and after that point you need the love of another human being to complete your healing. You need this experience, this shared togetherness in which you can continue to grow, continue to heal, and continue to figure out new things about yourself. So I see this as an opportunity, you know, it's an opportunity. I mean, in the worst case scenario, let's say you say yes to this relationship and you find it too hard to continue, you find it too difficult to maintain. You can still eventually relinquish it, you can still separate from this person. But at least you would have had the experience of receiving love from this person for a while, yeah? Rather than cutting it off right at the beginning and saying, no, I don't want this. So give yourself love by allowing another person to love you, yeah? In this case, it's not all about self-care, self-love as self-care. This is self-love, which implies allowing another person to love you, right? And this can lead to something very solid, very stable. It can lead to like a lot of mental health being returned to you, feeling like your mind is organized, your heart is aligned with your mind, you're no longer in the state of internal conflict, because you trust somebody and you allow them to love you, you allow them to rely upon you, and they can rely you can rely on them and they can rely on you. We have here confusion. I feel unclear about where we stand. So yeah, I think this is your inner conflict speaking. You feel unclear because on some level, you're pushing this person away and you may not even be realizing it. It could be an unconscious way to defend yourself, right? So psychological defense, it's like you want this person, but at the same time, your old patterns of protecting yourself come in between. Like, for example, a very small way in which this could play out. This person calls you, you're super excited when you see the phone call, and then the unconscious steps in and you just get up and do something else. You ignore the phone call. You don't pick it up. Like the logical, conscious way to approach it is like phone rings, you see the name of the person or the image of the person that you want. You're happy, you pick up the phone, you talk to them, you arrange a meeting, or I don't know, you get to hang out. But I feel like in your case, you're happy, you're excited, you see the phone ringing, and then you either close the call, or you block this person, or you get up and do make yourself a cup of coffee, or you distract yourself with another person, you start fantasizing about another person, or you consider that no, love is not important, I need to focus on work right now, I need to focus on cleaning the house, that's more important. So catch yourself in these moments. And that's where you need to pour a lot of this self-love and just be like, hey, but I do deserve a good conversation with a person that adores me. I do deserve to meet up with this person and to just allow them to kiss me. You know, I really like this person. Why would I not do that? So it's about not being too judgmental or too strict with yourself. I don't want you to punish yourself when you catch yourself doing these weird idiosyncratic things. Just have this dialogue with your unconscious. It's like, why am I acting like that? Or like, why did I say that? Or why is that behavior popping up? Because it's trying to tell you something, yeah? About the ways in which you may be pushing away from you that very thing that you want. There could be a degree of control, like you don't want to lose control. Self-control is very important for you. But you can easily negotiate this with your partner if you just talk to them in a peaceful, calm way and just tell them, like, look, I've been by myself for a while. I like to be in control of myself as a human being. I like to have my boundaries. I really like you. We are very different. Give me some time to adjust to you, yeah? Give me some space a little bit. Let's take it step by step, okay? Because I don't want to freak out and drop you or run away from you and miss a good opportunity. So put it into words, which will require you to be vulnerable, which will mean that you have to loosen down your guard a little bit and allow the other person to get to know how you think and to really sit through with you through this thinking and working out process. But that's how you build a strong connection. We have absence. I feel like a part of me is missing without you. Yeah, this is a really interesting thing because that's how you know the unconscious is playing a very strong role in your love life. When, for example, this person is next to you and they want to love on you and you're acting kind of like controlled and icy. But then as soon as they go away and they give you the space that you said you wanted to have, or you implied through your behavior that you don't want them by your side, then all of a sudden you start missing them. Because it's easier to love somebody who is not physically there to overwhelm us with reality, with the reality of their being, of their physicality, of their body, of their energy. It's easier to love them as a fantasy. You know, it's easy to think, oh, I know this person and they're not close to me. I don't feel overwhelmed and triggered. And that's why I feel like I can love them better when they're not by my side. So again, if you feel more comfortable being in this connection with this person when they are not there physically close to you, again, ask yourself, where is this coming from? Like, the logical thing would be to be close with this person, to yearn for them when, you know, you don't have access to them, but it's kind of like a part of you enjoys the distance. Some of you could be even stuck in this in this long distance connection because you learned to love from afar, and having a person too close to you, too much in your space and energy, is threatening to your boundary of self. It's a codependency. It's a codependency issue here. It's kind of like you learned how to become an individual because in the past you were everything to everyone. People pushed you away. You built yourself up through a lot of hurt and pain. You understood, okay, I got rejected. Even though I gave it my all, I got rejected. I decided to focus on myself, to pour into my own cup. Now I have boundaries. I know who I am. And then all of a sudden this person comes into my life that is like a version of yourself. You used to be this warm. You used to be this loving. You used to have little boundaries in terms of overwhelming a person with your emotion. And now it's kind of like the universe is holding a mirror up to yourself through this person's love. And you have to deal with this person and their love, but also you have to reconcile with the older version of yourself that you used to be. That version of yourself that got rejected by other people in the same way in which you may be unconsciously pushing this loving individual right now. Whoa. I hope this makes sense. Oh gosh, I hope I put it into words clearly. So the issue here is that you have learned through rejection how to split a part of yourself that was very warm and loving. And now this person's full love, like without restraints, full, unconditional, present, warm love. It's like, I want to be with you, okay? You're like, but that would mean that I have to go back in my past and make friends with who I used to be, because I used to be a lot like you. That's why I think you love me and you're so attracted to me. We have more things in common than it looks at the surface, right? On the surface, you could be very different individuals. But actually, this person who loves you so much is like an older version of you. That version that was not rejected or broken. So, by loving yourself, by making peace with the old version that you used to be, you're going to bring it up to life and you're going to behave and start behaving in a much more warm way. And you will be able to accept this person's warmth, right? Because we tend to mirror. certain things in our immediate external environment mirror some of the contents of our psychological journey, of our psychological changes. This is what this person would say to you. The passion I feel is overwhelming. I don't know how to handle this. And you're like confused. Like this person is coming at you guns blazing. It's like, I want you, I want to be with you. Let's get married, let's be together. And you're like, I'm confused. About what? Like the confusion comes not from this person's weird energy. The confusion comes from the fact that they remind you of an old version of yourself that you have yet to accept. Accept that part of yourself and your relationship to this person is gonna bloom. Loving yourself, especially the older version of yourself that was a lot like they are, is going to help this person come even closer to you. It's going to help you drop your guard and accept this person's overwhelming passion. And it will help you no longer be afraid, because this is the crux, the core of the situation, being afraid, running away from love, pushing intimacy away. This reminds me of Kate Bush's song, The Hounds of Love Are Coming. I love that song so much. So Kate Bush is actually a sun in Leo. So there's very strong Leo energy here. Maybe you have a North Node in Leo. So you're learning how to connect with your heart, how to be warm and loving and like a little celebrity. And there's something here about hair, because I keep playing with my hair and I'm very conscious of it and I don't like the way that it looks a bit stringy. But I'm sure that you have fabulous hair, or your lover has fabulous hair, and hair should get the ball rolling. Have a conversation about hair, braid each other's hair if you have long hair and you can do that. Go to a hair salon, I don't know. There is something here about hair that needs to be unpacked. But this is the reading that I had for you. I am aware it is quite a long reading. Thank you so much for your patience, for listening. If you're still here, mwah! Drop a heart in the comments so I know that you listened to this all the way through the end. If you want a personal reading, get in touch with me. Links are always placed underneath my videos and in the comment section. And until next time, take care and open up that heart, okay? You will only gain from it. Ciao. Hi, group 4. I don't know why I did this with my hands, jazz hands. Welcome to your reading. Let's check the temperature of your relationship to your special someone. So this is a reading for those of you that were drawn to this gorgeous card. I kind of have the feeling this is my reading as well. As you guys know, I used to study in Edinburgh. We have here the Duchess of Edinburgh Rose. It's also on my hoodie. I love this deep shade of glossy red. Yeah, a lot of elements are coming together. So this is your reading, but it's my reading as well. And I'm super happy to be able to read for both of us. Let's see what awaits us. Just noticing that some of the tarot cards from the previous readings have not been put back in the deck. So there's something missing here between you and your person, something that is currently being regained. So it's almost as if the relationship was broken. I do apologize for having to do this, but I'm not going to cut this part out because I think it's significant to the reading itself. So it's like the relationship may have been blown apart. This could be somebody from your past who's having a reframing. You're having a reframing at the moment. You're each doing it individually in order to somehow reconnect. Maybe not now, maybe in a year's time, who knows? Let's see what the cards have to say. But I am getting this energy of putting the pieces back together, putting yourself back together, reframing, repiecing, recompleting yourself in a way. Yeah, oh my goodness. And the deck, I put it the opposite way. Yeah, so many things need to come into place. They need to be reorganized in order for you and your special someone to be together. And I'm definitely getting a blast from the past. This is somebody from the past who may still keep checks, keep tabs on you. Okay, now the deck is complete. It is whole. Give it a shuffle. So reorganization, cleaning things up, cleaning the energy, changing, shifting mentality. Wow, okay, so it's kind of like you met this person in the past, things did not work out in spite of your best efforts, because you had to go through a process of defragmentation and putting yourself back together again. And the cards are dropped to the ground, and what I see, you're gonna really like this, so give me a second so I can pick them up. Okay, you just saw the entire background of my very messy room. The Lovers. This is your soulmate. Most of you have already met your soulmate, but conditions were made in such a way that it was impossible for you to have the relationship you wanted to have with them in the past. Yeah. This person could have some of the features that you see on either of these individuals in the card. I see here a culturally different relationship. You clearly come from different cultures, different backgrounds. Scotland, Edinburgh could have something to do with it. You may have met this person there, or maybe they come from there, or you traveled with them there on a romantic getaway or something of that nature. In the past, you were the one kind of making this connection work. You were pulling this person in. This person was a bit more reserved. Let's see the other cards. Ooh, there is so much wealth in this connection. So either this person is very wealthy, or as soon as you come back together, after having been split apart, you come back together as whole human beings who have learned a lot of lessons, like money will flow. I don't know how. Maybe if you own a business, or if you work in a specific environment, it's going to suddenly take off or become even wealthier than it used to be. Or this person comes with some sort of money, some sort of inherited wealth, or from their own occupation, maybe they made their own wealth. I see here legacy, I see family. I see here that you guys are going to have a very solid, even if a little bit traditional relationship. Your roles are going to be very clearly defined in this connection. There will be a lot of financial, material wealth you're not going to do without. Yeah. It's just, it was a connection in which either some family members mingled with it to make it, like, to build it up towards a breaking point. So it is maybe because of the influence of certain relatives that you guys split up, and you were not even aware of this. You were not even aware that certain relatives or members in your group, your friends, maybe best friends, were creating like uncomfortable things. In Romanian, we have this expression, a băga strâmbe, which is like working psychologically on somebody by saying certain things like, oh, but you know that she doesn't really love you because, you know, she's always been like this, you know, ever since she was a child, she always had this manipulative, controlling behavior. Or, oh, but I know that you're connected to him and that you really care for him, but you know, he has this really kinky side to him. Or, you know, you shouldn't trust him so much because ever since he was a small child, or ever since I known him, he had this pattern. So, you know, like when family or good friends start saying certain things, and you normally in a normal logical conversation, you would brush it off or laugh about it, but then it starts working on you and you start like thinking, oh my God, you look at your person and you loved them a moment ago, but now everything they do, it's like confirming what that relative said, and you start to become paranoid. It's like, oh my God, could this be the moment when they're going to break up with me, or when that violent pattern is going to emerge, or when this addiction is going to pop up? And you start to behave like you're walking on glass around your lover, and you start to become mistrustful and paranoid. And this will inevitably lead to a breaking down of trust between the two of you and miscommunication, because one of you or both of you at the same time potentially are being manipulated by family members psychologically, yeah? Through these little jabs and quips and off the hand remarks, you know, because I kind of have a feeling there is a lot of envy and jealousy, and usually there is when two people love each other, and they're good looking and they're successful, and you know, they come together. A lot of people are like, you know, slobbering at the mouths. They wish that they could have that. So it's often the case that, you know, there's all this drama around them that they may not even be aware of, because they're so focused on their love and on living their life, you know, that they may not even be paying attention to how the fortress that they're trying to build is being constantly under siege by gossip and envy. Yeah. So something had to be cut off. Something had to be eliminated. There could have been family deaths as well. It may have been that through time, certain people from the family were more or less removed. There could have been a freezing of connections with certain relatives, or somebody got sick or received a really awful diagnosis and they passed on. And now that condition that was removed is leaving all this breathing space, breathing room for these two lovers to come back together, for you and your person to come back together, yeah? And now it's not about your family and this person's family intermingling with you, because I feel like both families may have suffered some sort of karmic hit for what they have done to separate you guys. Now it's about you two coming together to start your own family on your own terms, without the interference of other people. And now you both are more aware, you're less naive, you're more aware of how much you need to protect what you have. Not only the love, but also your money, and also like your home. You have to build strong walls around your privacy. Not walls that separate you from your person, but walls around you and your person that keep you, it sounds weird, but love locked, you know? Let's see. We have here the Hanged Man. So yeah, this is not over. It never was over. There wasn't a clear conclusion. You may have separated in the past under weird, bizarre circumstances. There may not have been a clear, I'm breaking up with you, or this is it. One of you could have just disappeared from the other person's life. Or there may not have been like a discussion, like let's sit down and talk about this, you know? It was maybe just an impulse. You pack your bags and you're off, you know, you go. I'm laughing because I do this, yeah? It's like, I'm coming to terms with my own passive-aggressive tendencies because I have a South Node in Libra and an Ascendant in Libra, and I'm also a Pisces. And, you know, rather than reacting violently in a situation, although I am learning how to do that as well, reacting on the spot, dealing with the issue with a lot of force rather than holding back. But in the past, I used to just allow things to crop up, sweep them under the rug, build up a lot of resentment, have a huge argument, and then pack my things and leave, you know? That was it. And obviously that's not at all healthy. It's toxic. And it's about learning how to cope with aggression, learning how to, in what dosage you should use it. Because sometimes, for example, you need a certain degree of aggression to say no, right? Saying no and being very firm with it in itself is a little bit of an aggressive act. So aggression is not necessarily bad. It just depends on how you use it, how you control it, how you are able to get on top of it and say, this is as much aggression, directness, and courage I am willing to experience at the moment. But I'm also aware that I can always pull back and just be like conciliatory and peaceful and allow the other person to have their own say in this. Yeah, so it's about being mindful how the intake, you know, like medicine, you have to be careful, use it in the right amounts. So a sacrifice had to happen so that you guys had to be together. In certain cases, you sacrificed your love, you sacrificed this connection, you just let it go. Yeah. Let's see right now. Sorry, I had to expel some air. I feel that you guys are going to be given a second chance because I see here, this is the energy of spirit. This is rebirth, right? Coming back to life after being dead for a very long time. Like feeling like you're a zombie, like you're walking through life, like what's the point? I know that was my person, didn't work out. Any relationship following from that is just going to be like filling up my time. It's not going to be something I feel in my heart deeply, yeah? So I feel like the Holy Spirit, the Holy Dove, this beautiful inner light will be reactivated in both your heart and your person's heart. And I feel like you guys are going to be given a second chance, which is amazing because not everybody gets second chances. I never get second chances. For me, like situations happen, that's it, done, being pushed into another karmic situation. And that is a lesson in itself. You know, some of you, like myself, if you were born with heavy karma, you sometimes have to accept that there is no second chance, you know. That's it. You had your go, you learn from it, and you move on. But in this case, I see a second chance is being granted, which is a miracle. It's quite unique. You shouldn't take this for granted. And I'm seeing here 39. It could be that by the age of 39, you may reconnect with this person, or 39 days from now, 39 weeks. What would this person say to you? Habits. I don't know if it will ever change. Ooh. Yeah, well, the only constant thing in life is change. So believing that another person is not able to change is not really a true belief. It's more like stubbornness, like being unwilling to accept the fact that people do change. They may change into what you don't like them to be. Yeah, so it's about acceptance. We have here dishonesty. By lying, I ripped us apart. So one of you lied in the situation. And the lying could have actually been, I don't love you anymore. When in reality, this person still loved you. Or, I don't want you anymore. Get out of my house, you know. When in reality, this person actually was like, stay. Don't go away, you know. So, one of you lied. And by lying, they hurt themselves as well. I would say the most. You could have been like visibly upset, crying and feeling hurt and sad while this person was dying inside. And I think that this person realized their dishonesty after the collapse of your relationship. They may have realized that out of habit. They were stuck psychologically in a pattern. And they only realized that this was a pattern after they broke up with you. The runner. I don't want to run anymore. My therapist would be happy to see this because, yeah, running is a really big theme as well in my own personal life. So I did say that this is my reading as well, not only yours, but I'm happy to be sharing these things with you because I feel that there is a certain bond, a certain empathy that goes beyond, you know, the small screen here on YouTube. And I think that's important. I think that's energy that needs to be shared. So being vulnerable and sharing some of your things helps you connect with people on such a deep level. And like, I love you guys so much, you know, I wouldn't want to not be connected with you. So coming back to the interpretation of the card, we have the runner. So running away from what's good for you, running away from your feelings, running away from facing responsibility, running into the so-called loving arms of your family that actually was working against you, trying to manipulate you out of this relationship. That's a big one. That's probably one of the harshest betrayals that you may have to go through in life, understanding that the people that have created you, that are supposed to love you and know you, are actually working against you, and they have been working against you and your success and your chances of love for years. Yeah. We have here reveal, and we see, I want to tell you the truth. And we also have here, life without you is hopeless, dark and depressing. I miss your light. And do you see how beautifully these two cards? Like, I love how cards just harmonize with one another. I bet that even if I put conscious effort to select cards, I would never reach this level of synchrony. This is so beautiful. Your light, right? This person misses your light. And I am more tempted to say that this is your light rather than the light being or belonging to your specific person, because you were drawn to my channel. Most likely you are a light worker yourself. We are sharing these energies right now as I'm reading for you and for myself. And I do identify as a light worker. So I believe that this is you. This is you, group 4. And this person misses you. So in case you're wondering, a person from your past is missing you. Conditions in the past were impossible for you to live out your love. But now you're being given a second chance, because I feel like you guys are meant to be. With the lovers here, it's a big decision coming up with the Ten of Pentacles. You have a lot of things to build. It's time for you guys to get working. You know, things need to be born into existence. Maybe a couple of children need to reincarnate, right? Maybe you guys have some important social work that you need to do, right? With so much money, I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to get involved in charity work, and those charities need the funding, you know? So it's kind of like, come on, you guys need to reconnect. So it's paradoxical that what separated you in the past may have been a group of people. Now you're coming back together after running from the truth, from your feelings, right? After a period of dishonesty. It's almost like the veil is being lifted from this person's eyes, and they're finally able to see with their inward eye, with the third eye, with their heart. And they're like, what have I been doing? You know, like I need to tell the truth. I need to come clean. I need to be open and honest. And from this honesty, a second chance will be born, a second chance at love. This light will start growing again. If it was just a flicker, like a small candlelight flicker, like you see it over here, right? It's going to grow into like a fire, a campfire. Yeah. So you're getting a second chance with a person that misses you terribly. I mean, can you imagine if they feel that their life is hopeless, dark, and depressing? You were like pure vitamin D for this person, right? So they miss you and they want to come back to you. And I feel like if you were made to feel like you are the outsider, always looking into other people's successful family lives, always feeling like, you know, I wish I was loved in that way. Well, this is it. This is the release, the karmic release. You are going to finally be allowed to be as successful in love and in your family life as other people have been. This reminds me of like a really sad story, like the girl with the matches. Like I remember when I was little and I first encountered this story. I think our kindergarten teacher read it to us. I was crying and biting my, you know how kids, they bite their knuckles, you know? I was crying and biting my knuckles. I was so sad. I was empathizing so much with that little girl who had nothing, and she would like strike matches to warm herself as she was sitting outside in the snow, sick and abandoned, and she was looking into the window of this wealthy family that had everything that they wanted for Christmas, and she had nothing and no one. Even thinking about it right now makes me cry. It's such a sad story. And you know, I was kind of upset when I grew older, and I think it was Hans Christian Andersen, or I don't remember exactly who invented the story first, but I was so upset because I was like, this is emotional manipulation. Why do you teach us such sad stories? But it was good because sad stories help build empathy in small kids, you know? Remembering that image of the small girl with the matchstick helps me be kinder to people on the street, you know? Because not only they are that little girl with the matchstick, but any of us can become that little girl with the matchstick. Life can throw you such a big blow to your ego, such a reversal of fortune that you can just stand up having nothing and no one. So it's important to treat everyone at every strata of society like a human being, to empathize with them. And especially those of you who have been made to feel like outsiders, I feel that's beautiful because you have a certain sensitivity to other people who are on the outside looking in. You understand them, you can talk to them, you can heal them. Yeah. So all pain leads to wisdom, all experiences lead to increased love. Yeah. And my voice is trembling because I got quite emotional. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was helpful, nourishing. I hope I checked the temperature of your relationship. This is really good news that you're getting a second chance. I'm also curious right now to see whether this will manifest in my life. Good job. Good job on being so patient. Okay, if you want to get in touch with me for a personal reading, I do offer those. Links are always placed in the description box underneath this video and in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a full-blown therapy session. All of the readings from today have been a therapeutical session, but I hope they help and that they serve you on some soulful level. Okay, see you in my next one.